1.
Franklin Roosevelt. When anyone asks who won the war, this man's name should pop into your head. He as a whole was the backbone of the whole Second World War's outcome. He made decisions that affected the lives of the generation, that of all the world's young males. They would have been sent to the slaughter with the wrong kind of leadership. But with Roosevelt's decisions, this all changed from a slaughter to a victory. When he came to power in 1933, the same year as Hitler had done, the Depression had ended, but the effects were still visible. From poverty to mass unemployment, what the world really needed was jobs to create money for the poor, to get the economy going again. His idea was to build mass skyscrapers that all the unemployed could do with relatively little training. The most iconic of these still standing today is the Empire State in New York, which before all the Asian buildings was easily the biggest in the world. This was also one of the first built during one of the many competitions held between different construction groups. In this case, the race was between Chrysler Building and the Empire State Building, both located in New York, which was obviously won by the Empire State Building. These plans were all win-win, with manufacturers selling their product to a retailer, which was then used in the construction process, with businesses coming to work over these massive buildings. And that was the simple way that Roosevelt came up with fixing the Depression, until 1941, the 7th of December, a day that will live in as quoted by the man himself. As the people of Pearl Harbor in Hawaii woke up to a sky darkened by masses of planes, consisting of Japanese fighters and bombers, all with one mission: destroy the Americans. They disguised themselves as the fighter airstrips were targeted, and by the time the released American fighter pilots realized what was happening, it was all too late, as they pounded away at the naval facilities with marvelous accuracy. His reaction was immediate. After stunning losses of nearly 3,000 American militants, as of that day, America was at war. From Europe fighting the Nazis to the Pacific fighting the tenacious Japanese, America fought with great enthusiasm. Roosevelt contributing valuable decisions all the way from Guadalcanal to the Normandy invasion. He was there contributing all that America had in terms of machinery, which up by 90% in production over the course of the war, and men, which were precious and valuable resources that there was only so much of. But his talks with Winston Churchill, the British Prime Minister of this period, and Stalin, the Russian dictator, made decisions to bring the horrific war to an end with the least deaths possible. As the war was coming to a close in Europe, Roosevelt fell into a state of uselessness. He was not going to see the war's ending, one that he put all his effort and his whole life into, something that should never be repeated. Instead it was to be his deputy that was to see the war's end, Harry S. Truman, who ordered the dropping of the atomic bomb on Japan so that no more deaths were needed, and to bring an end to a war that only caused 15 million deaths and grief. One man said about Roosevelt that being the President of America during this time is a death sentence, never mind to a man who was as ill and weak as Roosevelt, who suffered since 1921 the disease polio, which affects walking and makes your body less preventable, making you weak, and in many cases ends up being treated nowadays. But 70 years ago there was no treatment, only lifetimes of weakness and an unpreventable death. As a young athletic lawyer, he studied at Columbia Law School. He had a promising future from the start, and the disease wouldn't stop him. He had a family with his wife Eleanor Roosevelt and raised 6 children with her. But in 1945, after 12 years as president, his time had come. He was eager to see the war's end, or his children grow up. As a man of great will and character, he was an inspirational person, one that people should idolise, with the moral being that you are different, you can still achieve great things. I hope that you have taken with you the meaning of my speech today and see what it means for you.